unfortunately read the fine details. What was published on the ICC website was an earlier motion that we filed in April, where the prosecutor had notified his supposed lack of conflict of interest. We relied on what's called the presumption of prosecutorial regularity, didn't feel that there was a need to basically contradict what the former prosecutor had said. I say the former prosecutor, the current prosecutor, but he's currently on self-imposed leave. And then at the end of June, we were suddenly disclosed the motion that he'd filed on behalf of the victims that he had represented. He'd represented more than 100 victims. The number, the nature of the representation were not known to us in advance. That's why we have reintroduced the request for the disqualification of the prosecutor.
Attorney, if the appeals chamber grants your request and prosecutor Can is disqualified, what would be the immediate and long-term significance of these developments?
Well, immediate and long-term significance won't be too great because effectively, as I've told you just now, he's on self-imposed leave because of the allegations made against him. However, there is an additional aspect to the request to disqualify Karim Khan. We argue that the very fact of his involvement as a victim's representative and subsequently becoming the prosecutor means that the investigation itself against the former president has been contaminated.
Okay. Attorney, does that also mean that there is a requirement to change prosecutorial leadership or potentially delay the proceedings?
No, because at the current moment in time, the person who's handling the prosecution, technically speaking, is Deputy Prosecutor Niang, and there's an American prosecutor who's handling the case on a daily basis.
Attorney Kaufman, media outlets have been criticized for inaccurate or negligent reporting on these proceedings, particularly on sensitive matters. What is your response to this?
Well, I think it's a justified criticism. People jump to conclusions on the basis of what they see on the website. They don't bother reading the fine print, and they see the glaring headlines, think it's newsworthy, and immediately publish. Without applying the brain too much.
Do you believe that such reporting could prejudice public opinion or even affect the fairness of the proceedings?
Sometimes it's liable to do so, indeed, yeah.
Attorney, just to piggyback on that, given that during the administration of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, certain media reports were arguably published with negligence in fact-checking or appeared to have been influenced by external directives, can such circumstances be invoked to challenge the credibility and evidentiary weight of media-based accounts presented before the International Criminal Court?
Well, it's a rather long question, Alvin, but I'll do my best to answer. It's quite well known that at the International Criminal Court, cases start off on the basis